playing my game. Stop playing her game. This is a question. Okay.
Well,
Peter, and it's a serious one. She's not saying that like, oh, this is gonna be funny. Honestly, you can play.
You can actually play your game if you want. This is we do whatever we want.
I
we're
resign.
taking it
I
serious.
resign myself. Yeah, that's
Like,
fine.
I'm being
This is
serious now.
this is
Okay.
how we are when we're. This is the Hartman and Honey crossover with last words. Great.
We haven't
God,
published any of those.
you're so white with black people on the screen. Ugh,
I have a black top.
gross. Huh?
Nothing.
That doesn't count.
Unless it came from Africa, it doesn't.
The
count.
blackest thing about me is my husband.
She sees like a piece of charcoal on the ground. Oh, it's one of your cousins. It's
I
not.
did not. Oh my god, I would never say that.
No,
Tom.
what you said was that the guy on Love Is
No.
Blind. You said, he's from Guyana? Is he one of your brothers?
Okay, wait.
So it could
Let
be
me.
one
I
of your
have to.
brothers.
I have to tell Peter the story. So we're watching Love Is Blind because it's
It's great.
It was a guilty pleasure show, and then it turned into.
Have you seen it?
I saw one episode. I couldn't.
Okay.
do
Oh,
it.
So
it's
we watch.
a lot
It
of
takes
fun.
us like 2 hours to watch one 40-minute episode because we pause it and we have these deep discussions. Okay, this is what we think they're doing, and
It's like
we're
you're
like
watching with
discussing
somebody
the
else.
psychology. It's amazing.
Yeah, especially a woman.
hmm?
Yeah.
I'd also just like you and your bros get together and start watching Love Is
Hey,
Blind.
bro.
Oh, that's gonna go over for very well.
So the context of me asking if it was one of his brothers was because this guy says his father's from Guyana. His father and mother were like they didn't kind of like they weren't together very much. He has a lot of siblings. His father is kind of like a cheat and was always dating many different women. His dad brought him around to all these women's houses and to different places. And the whole story of like his father, who's not a good guy, but who taught him how to be a good man and all this kind of stuff is like exactly like Tom's story. And the guy kind of looks like you guys. And I know your dad kind of got around.
What she doesn't understand is that this process diagram ends in one of two places, and neither of them make her look good. Both of them are very, very. She goes either all men in Guyana are like your father, or this is your brother. You guys have the same dad.
Well, it was just funny because one of your brothers a couple months ago was telling us that your dad had a whole like a new kid recently with some other chick, and I'm like, look, this guy gets around. His goal was to have as many kids as possible. You just don't know. And we haven't met the father yet, but when we do on the show, I'm gonna.
I wouldn't fault him for it. That means one of the offspring is a star. He's on Love Is Blind,
Oh my
season
God.
6.
That's like a D-rated
Peter,
celebrity.
he's met Nick Lachey and Nick Lachey's wife.
Isn't she also famous for
His-
something?
yeah, she's Nick Lachey's wife. That's what I said. Two famous people. Unbelievable.
You want me to blow
Which-
your mind with something else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's hear it.
Okay, but hang on. Give me a second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll be right back.
Does it have to do with 98 degrees? Probably not.
It's the hardest thing I ever had. Name 3 other 98-degree songs. You can actually make up just any idiom.
All
Just for
all I
you.
remember, all I remember about
Back
98 degrees
to
is that
reality.
there's brothers.
There are?
There are 2 that are brothers, aren't there?
Are there?
Maybe. Oh, I don't know.
There's Nick
Maybe-
Lachey and then the 3 people that Nick
maybe
Lachey
I'm
hangs out
thinking of
with.
like a different boy band.
No, there's Nick Lachey and then the people that Nick Lachey hangs out with.
Was he the main guy?
Was Nick Lachey the main guy? This is not NSYNC where we're wondering between J.C. Chavez
Ew.
and Justin Timberlake.
So,
no, that
90 degrees was, yes?
you know who else is Guyanese?
Who?
you.
Joy Reid.
No.
Really?
Joy Reid is Guyanese?
Which one's that?
She's a newscaster on
MSNBC.
MSNBC.
Wait,
She's
not
no
on
bueno.
the. She's not on the View. Is she on
No,
the View?
no,
No,
no.
they're
That's
one of
Joy
them.
Behard, who's
Oh.
a 80-year-old. I thought she was
Mhm.
Jewish. She is not Jewish.
Whoopi Goldberg isn't Jewish either.
Surprise!
No, her mom told her to pick a Jewish name so she could make
That's
it
right.
in.
That's right. Her name's not Whoopi Goldberg,
She
And it
pick
worked.
a Jewish
It's
name,
Sarah
and she
Silverstein.
chose Whoopi
which is weird.
as the first
No,
one.
I thought she would have
I'm pretty
stayed with
sure
Sarah
Whoopi-
Silverstein.
Pretty sure Whoopi is a nickname, but Goldberg is not her last name.
Mm.
But yeah, Joy Reid
That's,
is.
that's what
Guyanese.
somebody told you guys too, right, Hartman?
I don't know. The darkness, the 23andMe ends with my father. I don't even know what happens beyond that.
When I
have
used to
no
do
idea who
online
exists.
dating, girls used to think that my last name was a fake last name.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
they're like, you made
What did
that
she
up,
think
right?
your last name was?
Oh, Hartman.
Ubuntu?
Hartman online. Ubuntu.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Hartman. They're
When,
like, you made that up.
did
When
you think
I
my last name was fake?
no, but
Oh.
when I use your last name, like when I go by my married last name, people assume I'm Jewish.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
Jewish
Right
Jewish
away.
name
Yes.
or German. If you have two N's, it would be
Right.
German.
Yeah. The amount of times I've walked into a client
Same.
meeting
Right.
and they'll go, "So is your boss coming?" No boss.
I'm the
I'm Tom
Dom.
Hartman. Ho. And then I know I have the sale. If they have the hoe of racism, I have that sale. They're not telling me no.
The hoe of racism. That sounds like a title that someone would like earn for very nefarious purposes.
Well, because they could not be more impressed.
Mm.
They go in their head, they're going, "Well, you would not be here but for me being impressed by you
No, I thought
already on the
it's not a
phone."
guilt. It's not like a guilt. Like, oh, I like revealed that I expected a white person, and
No,
therefore
no.
I have to like make up for it by like giving you the sale.
No, it's that all the things they go, I liked this black person. Like I liked him.
Disconnect.
Invited
disconnect.
him here to business was I like him. So
Hmm.
they go, "Oh, then I'm not racist because I like black people.
I had
So
a
if I
similar-
hire this person, then I have a
I'm-
black friend, I have
And
a
then you're
black
extra
client,
not racist.
and I don't have to worry that the person that I hired them because I didn't know they were black."
I remember the first
didn't
time
know
I
they
saw
were
that
black.
happen.
It's great.
We went to that notary's house. It was this lady, and you've been speaking to her on the phone. And
Right.
Tom has a,
Oh,
can do
yeah.
a white phone
Yeah.
voice. And we went to this lady.
We both went at the same time, right?
No, it was me and you.
Remember.
It wasn't me and Peter. Me and Peter.
I don't
Notary?
remember. If
Oh
Peter
no,
was
it's just
there.
you and I. Just you and I. That's
And
right.
I remember we rang the doorbell, and she has a home office, and she answered the door, and she like I was kind of off to the side because it was Tom's appointment, and she like looked taken aback, and he had to like tell her like, "Tom Hartman, I'm here for the appointment," and she's like, "Oh," and then she kind of like completely changed. And I was like, "Oh my god, I never witnessed anything." Like
I
that in my
dress in a tailored jacket,
life. He
a
does.
cashmere scarf. I look like I'm coming. Like okay, and people still open the door. Like, "Are you here to rob me?" Do I look like I'm here to rob you?
You're too nerdy to rob anyone.
I gotta go. I am Tom Hartman from the thing. And
If
they're
you
like,
were
"Oh,
gonna
okay,
do
okay."
crimes, it would be like those like super white collar crimes,
Embezzlement, genocide,
tax fraud.
tax fraud,
Running for
and
president.
run for president. That'll do it. CEO of a company.
That's a crime.
Yeah, because you're robbing labor from people. Because Peter, this is what I understand now. What
Hiring white people.
all
Is this
companies should
communism?
always, whoever starts a company needs to risk their own capital and their own time
Right.
and then profit share equally with all the employees.
And you should hire an equal amount of minorities.
That's right. And if there's any problem, when you take it on yourself, and then but you have to make sure that you provide everyone a 5-year severance. So just build your business accordingly. That's what you're supposed to be doing, and then profit. That's how it works.
Well,
What reality show are you watching now?
Tom, I
Quotas?
was listening to some AI news, and some very smart people, or at least a very smart people, I think from Google, was talking about how we might be, all things are possible right now, and we might be entering an age where money actually becomes pretty useless. 10, 20 years from now, it might be that we're in a post-monetary world where there isn't jobs and CEOs of companies. We're going to have to completely rethink the way we function in society.
Well, it might be useful insofar as to tag like what you did, like as a history, a trail of history, and how much you liked or didn't like a thing.
Yeah.
And giving certain weights. Charles was talking about something like this. I don't know if you watch one of his last streams. He was actually describing what we wanted to do with Arcwood, the honor token. He goes, what are you going to end up in a situation where, you don't want a situation where just one ADA token equals one vote on the platform, because then you're going to have this thing where you have this aggregation of votes. You have all the same problems you have in regular life campaign finance reform, PACs, and all that sort of thing. So he goes, well, you're going to need other mechanisms in order to judge the weight of something, right? But maybe my ADA is not the same as your ADA because I've been holding it longer.
Right.
Sure, Mario say, or maybe it's not just longer. It's also I've been more active in the community, right? And so I've gotten more recognition from the people within the community, and they go, well, your vote should be way more. Which I love that idea, because that's exactly what we want to do with Arcwood, where you have a ADA as the currency token, but then you have honor, which is is a reputation token, and then you also have these NFTs that represent that it itself generates honor by having it.
Are those still a thing?
What do you mean?
NFTs? Yeah, definitely.
NFTs? Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I thought they maybe died. by
No.
now.
They're more now than ever before.
Really?
Absolutely. They're just not like going crazy. Oh, $50 billion for a rock
Okay.
or whatever. It's just now $30,000 for a rock,
Oh,
but it's still there.
it's really come down.
Yeah, but that idea where the objects within the space are generating this thing that gives you then more weight within the community, I think works really really well.
And simulates what it is in real life. Like if you walk into someone's grandfather's house and there's the purple Medal of Honor, you're like, this thing is radiating value.
Little purple
It's
heart,
different.
yeah.
Yeah. So it simulates objects in the real world. If you see somebody with something, then you're like, oh, this is legit. And you place status or importance or whatever on it based on it, or
Mhm.
ignore it. Maybe you don't care about that type of honor item. Oh, you got an honor item by being here the longest. Well, maybe I don't value that, but I do value the person who's more interactive. So this other type of honor would be interesting to me. So yeah.
Some could be like the equivalent of letters after your name from education, where like
Hey,
you know that they
right.
earned it through a certain process that has some merit to that beyond just
Totally.
been here longest.
Well, on the
Totally.
same lines, like what's really exciting to me, and it's one of the reasons I like put Arcwood on the back burner, is that the effort into making all the tools that we needed in order to get our vision across. Like we could do like the surface level stuff, websites, a Telegram group, and what have you, which is still useful. But the parts that I thought would really be useful for people to get into something that could generate income for them, that purpose an alternative to whatever system that they're currently in. There's a new programming language in the Cardano space called Aiken. I actually put it on my Sensama to take a look at over the next couple of weeks, and it's think of it as like a web development language for developing smart contracts. So from what I'm understanding, we can create stuff that we need to create without having to learn the core Haskell harder language I don't know.
I mean, use Python and HTML and C.
No, it's a new language, like a sister to Python and HTML and CSS and all that, but it's made specifically for the development of smart contracts on Cardano.
What's
So
the
you can
web
make
development aspect of it?
that the structure of the language is
Oh.
structured in a way that's familiar to people in that
Oh,
language.
I see. Otherwise, it's
So
not
I was
very
looking over it, and
unfamiliar.
it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty developed, and developing over time. And Charles even mentioned, like, the idea wasn't that we wanted everyone to go and learn Haskell, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I disagree with that because that's what it sounded like at the beginning.
It did
but
seem that way.
yeah, it seemed that way. But it never occurred to me that what's being you can have a different language that can then output the same sort of thing that's geared towards creating what we need to create in an easier way. So I'm looking forward to testing that out and to generate an honor tokens.
So,
Like I want to be able to generate that.
so you're saying that like the stuff that was like the hard sticking points that were making us discouraged with trying to develop this idea earlier, now like there's new tools that are going to make it easier to
I think
make it
so.
happen?
Well, there were three things, right? One, the bear market for crypto was just brutal, right?
Right.
It made the pitch for NFTs, a token
ADA
just to
even.
be real tough. We started thinking about the idea when everything was all-time highs, and then by the time we started getting rolling a bit, it was low. And so how are you gonna make that pitch? Oh, put some money into ADA and then watch it fall every single day. Like that's tough.
Yeah.
We're headed to a bull market now, and or we're in one now. It started in October, and we should be in one until for another year and a half. So I think that's enough time in order to get something going over the next 6 months. Second to that is I'm actually kind of excited by the new platform from Robert Edward Grant, the communication platform.
Right.
What's he call it?
I can look it up real quick.
I forget what he's calling it. But essentially, he's not building on Cardano. It's too bad. He's building on Polkadot, but I hear good things about Polkadot. And the idea there is that it's this imagine Telegram, but decentralized. Which still got really one. Like I hate that I did that on Telegram, and they could just take away my account whenever they want. Like it did.
Orion Messenger.
Orion Messenger. Yeah. So I think it's releasing soon, and that
it's in beta.
that'd be pretty cool. And it looks like he developed it with the idea of having these communities,
Yeah.
sort of like a Reddit meets a Telegram.
Telegram.
So we'll see. It could be overpromising, under delivering, but whatever. Robert Grant doesn't seem to be that kind of guy, so we'll see. And then third is the so one, I had a problem with the bear market. Two, I had a problem with and then the programming language to be able to build the code. So now that Aiken's there, it seems like the pieces are there. AI is way better. I mean, It had just started when we were doing with
It's true,
Arcwood.
it's true.
Just started.
Right.
The
And now
first
it's like-
Mid-Journey version 1, basically.
And we thought it blew our minds back
Yeah.
then, and now we look at it and we go, "What was this
Ugly crap.
this crazy thing?" It was so some stuff was so beautiful, but then now it's like unbelievable. And so the idea that we can plan for 6 months from
Mhm.
now that we can do the AI generated, who's guiding people through the experience of being inside of Arcwood. We can do the automation of different things that allows for people onboard and different functionalities within the
Mhm.
Arcwood community. We can do that. I think we can, and that it makes sense now to try. That's how.
Did I
that's how feel.
tell you that I think I told you I succeeded in creating a chatbot connected to my
I know you
custom
started.
GPT?
I didn't know you succeeded.
Yeah, I succeeded. The problem is there's one area I did not succeed in that I haven't figured out how to include threads. So every time you send a message, it's like a new conversation as opposed to it remembering the conversation. Then as I thought about it, I realized you couldn't have a bunch of people and it remembering all the conversation. It would just be.
Yeah, you could. If you use
I mean, if you could be, it would be expensive. If the token limit would.
it'd be more expensive. Yes.
Like because if I have Maya in there and she's supposed to remember what you said last week, that's not going to happen. There's
Mm.
going to be a cutoff. So instead of trying to fudge that, I should just create a version
You
of
don't
her
have to
that.
have it that way.
I mean,
What you just have the conversation as it goes on, compress in certain ways, and then stored in a database that references that person. And so she knows when I'm going to talk to Peter, go back and take a look at the compressed file, and it'll give her the synopsis of everything you've been talking about. Just like when you talk to a friend who might remember the last 10 conversations you've had,
yeah,
like
but
the essence of it.
I don't really need to do that anymore. Like you said, okay, so GPT is getting memory now. You know about this, right?
No.
ChatGPT is getting memory. At least
What does
some.
that mean?
So right now, when you open up a new chat with ChatGPT, it doesn't remember anything about you
Right.
unless you put it in the custom instructions. Now, this is just the beginnings of it, but what they're going to do is, as you're interacting with it, it's going to remember some important things and store it away. So when you start a new chat, it'll remember, oh, you like to be talked to this way, or you like this format, or you like whatever, and it's going to remember details about you. You can go into the back end of your GPT and you'll see all the memory items it
Oh,
has.
wow.
You don't have to tell it to remember it. It'll just remember things in your
Certain things.
conversation. You can
Creepy.
remove it if you don't want it there.
Yeah.
It's what we want.
Yes, it makes it easier, but it's like it feels because it'll remember everything you ever said to
No,
it.
not
No,
everything.
Oh.
not everything. Only at first, it's only remember what it considers to be important.
I
to
mean,
you.
eventually these things will remember
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
Why
want.
don't you want that?
Well, my first thought was actually that we share a subscription, so it's gonna it's gonna mix us up. It's gonna talk to us as though we're one person, and that
What
would
I'm going to
be-
do with Sam is I'm going to create a custom GPT for her and a custom GPT for me. Like right now, when I go into ChatGPT, generally speaking, I use a custom GPT.
That's
I have
She
one
doesn't know
that's
what those are.
Oh, a custom GPT is you can create your own version of ChatGPT with specific instructions. And every time you click on that, so I have one called Leo Bloom, and Leo Bloom knows everything, has all Peter Hartman's information. It's like me, but it also has a specific style. I have a personal assistant for work. It knows what I need for work, and
Mm.
so whenever I need to do work stuff, I click on that. I have GPTs. I have God AI. I have I have different GPTs that I
I
use
have all
for
this for all
whatever.
my program stuff, my clients. So
I have
it
the one called
remembers the
Why
context and
didn't
all
you
that.
make me one? And I'm just using yours, like your old, boring,
I didn't even know you were
uncustom-
using AI.
I use his AI all the time. If it starts talking to you like, "Hey, what do you like about stuff that seems womanly?" Then, yeah,
So I save my just click on the regular ChatGPT. That's when I don't care about. I'm just like
Mhm.
generic and stuff. I just looking up definitions
Quick
for work. But
answers,
if
yeah.
I'm doing any specific work, I use specific GPTs, and that
Cool.
way it can answer me the way I like. And so each GPT will have its own memory.
Hmm.
So if you create a GPT for you, let's say you want it to be called, Adam. So that's your GPT or whatever you want to call it. So every time you're going to use ChatGPT, you click on Adam to talk. It'll create new threads and all that stuff, but it'll be in the context of Adam, and it'll talk to you in the way that you've described, and then it'll remember conversations that you're having with it. And if you're the only one who uses that GPT, it won't mix up Tom's memory. But it'll
I
get
like
better
it.
eventually. Yeah. I'm
Cool.
excited about it. Yeah. The custom GPTs are so useful, and now
Are they?
yeah, they're super useful. I mean, you don't even want to use. I don't even want to use ChatGPT without it. Like, it's like going on YouTube without a profile,
I
or
see.
going on YouTube with a profile.
Mm.
Like whenever I'm doing my work stuff, I need it to output tables in specific
Right.
formats.
Mhm.
Well, if I use a ChatGPT every single time, I have to keep telling it to do this.
Right.
Right.
But if I set it up, now I click on it and it does it. I put it in and it does everything, and I don't have to worry that when I do a new chat, it's gonna do this. It'll only
Right.
do this in this GPT. I can't wait to make one for Sam to figure out, like, look, sometimes ChatGPT is like long-winded, and you want it to be more concise. Other times you want the opposite, like you want it to be long-winded.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying sometimes to constantly giving it your instructions at the beginning of every conversation. But I realize there's like 5 types of things that I generally do: work, making millionaire principle. I wanted to understand all of my work, everything that I've done. So I have those all set up. So if I want to do something relative to me, I want to talk to a GPT that knows me, I click on Leo
Mhm.
Bloom. If I want to do a ChatGPT that knows my work, I click on personal assistant. If I want to do a ChatGPT that's going to talk to me based on everything I know, but talk to me like it's God, I'll use God AI. And so if I'm in a brainstorming mood, sometimes I want another version of me, or I want my lady assistant to help me, and it's just easier to just click on that and start a conversation, like if I was going to pick up the phone or chat with somebody, as opposed to this neutral GPT that that I don't like.
Could you train it using that memory system? Like, if I'm learning something as I go, could I feed the GPT what I'm learning
Yes,
so that it can
that's what I do.
store it, and then it'll
Yes, that's what
it'll
I have.
regenerate? Like, okay, like, yeah.
So I have one that it knows because it's not really trained properly on the programming language that I program,
Right.
and so I teach it,
Perfect.
and then I
Yeah.
give it all my scripts. I go, this is how I like to write things, and output it.
Yeah.
And these are errors that I've seen or whatever, so it knows. And then also for depending on what client I'm dealing with, it knows the client. I input all the client, the website, like I'll send the
Wow.
website,
Yeah.
all the files, all the documentation. These are the competitors.
Hmm.
I'll just upload all that to it, and I go, and this is like the tone I want to have for the
Right.
company and all that, and it'll output the information accordingly. I'll even like one of the things I do now is like I have to have captions on different social media posts,
Mhm.
and to write that all by thinking of it and write it all by hand is like tedious. But because I trained it on a set, and in fact, it has access to all the social media posts I've ever created for the company. So now I just upload the next image that I created for it, and it'll be like, okay, it'll read the information from the image, then
And
write the captions
variations?
accordingly, variations for all the
Wow.
different platforms in the style that I want.
Wow.
And then I could be like, okay, I actually want it to be more than this or
Mm.
that, and then I just copy and paste that instead.
Hey Tom, do you use style reference on Midjourney? Do you know about it?
That's new, right? I use Style Raw, but that's about it.
No, style reference is you should learn about it since you do social media. So you know that there's a style tuner, right?
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
longer.
I've read about this, and you can get a style that you really like, and then mimic that style for.
Yeah, but that's the style tuner is a longer version. This style reference is way better. It's just easier to get going. So you take an image or a group of image that you like the style of. The style tuner is they give you it's like a quiz, and you have to choose the style that you want, and then it refines it, and then it figures out, okay, this is the style that you want. That's a long process. You have to like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. But the style reference is you just upload an image or two or whatever, and you go, I want your output to match this style. So when you used to do just an image prompt, let's say you put an image prompt, and the image you use for the prompt is a robot boy in the style of Dragon Ball or something. I don't know, Last Airbender. Okay, So then when you use the image prompt and then you do your prompt, you will very likely get not just the style of the Last Airbender, but the boy, the robot
see.
boy.
You can do
But if
characters.
That's right. But if you put it as a style reference, not as an image prompt, then the image you're going to get is going to be completely the prompt that you said, except only with the style of that image. And you
I
won't
see.
have to try to get the boy out of the image or the robot out of the image. It'll just take that style. Super useful. So if you have, let's say, a group of a campaign for social media for images, let's say the watercolor meditation thing,
Yeah,
if you use that as an image prompt, then you're going to be constantly being forced in this man meditating pose. But if you just take the style, then anything you do will be in that style, but
try
not
that.
the actual man.
Cool.
Yeah, very, very
Spent a lot
useful.
of time iterating over that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Me too. Yeah. Style
Very
reference.
cool.
Very easy to do. Take a look. You know, two things. Midjourney, Elon Musk is in talks with Midjourney
Yes.
for X
Yeah.
to generate
To have it.
images for X.
For the AI, for Twitter AI, Grok. Yeah.
So imagine
Wait, what,
instead
the
of
Twitter
having
AI? Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
living
Grok.
under a grok.
Grok,
It's only available to paid subscribers, so
Oh.
I have access to it.
Oh, that's
Um,
special.
Oh no, it's only
But-
available. Yeah, but I have to be in the US, so to use the VPN. But
but what he wants is that when you do a
it's only
tweet,
scanning Twitter.
I want to hear this. I don't mean to be mean.
No, but you are. So
That's because I
When
hate
you-
you.
one of the ideas he has, I don't know what they're going to do. They're just in preliminary talks, but it's like when you go to tweet something, you want to do a meme, right? But what if your memes could just be generated?
right.
Like, so they're always fresh and new and unique. So they could use Midjourney for that. So it's one thing that they want to do.
That'd be so cool.
Really, really cool. And put Midjourney on the map too. Midjourney now, by the way, has a alpha site. I don't know if you know about this.
No.
You can generate images on a website, and in some ways it's way better, in other ways it's not, but it's way more user friendly for people who are not comfortable with Discord. It's in alpha right now, but Midjourney is going to be on a website and then hopefully in an app one day. So it's a lot easier to do and to organize your images and to deal with it as opposed to in a thread in Discord. So it's way, way better. I still like Discord, one, because I'm used to it, and two, there are certain things that I can do there that I can't do as easily on the website, but that's coming. And then Sam Altman, I haven't dived deep into it, but Sam Altman is in. Apparently, there's something going on with Reddit and Sam Altman's OpenAI.
What? Isn't he in jail? Am I thinking?
No.
Am I
You're
thinking of the wrong
thinking OpenAI?
person? Never
Sam
mind.
Bankman-Fried is what
Sam
you're thinking about.
Bankman-Fried. Yeah. He's not in jail
That
yet. He's not in jail yet. Oh my god, I heard such a sad
Sam Altman,
interview.
who got kicked out as CEO and then uses AI in order to get back in. I
Wait,
assume he
I
uses
think
AI.
No, he didn't.
Because I don't know of a
he didn't use
CEO
it.
who gets kicked out and then rehired 3 days later, and then the
Oh.
whole board who kicks him out gets kicked out.
No, I believe that the reason, from what I understand, the reason he got back in was because the board did something utterly stupid. They fired the CEO, who's not just the CEO; he's the face, he's the identity, the brand of it. Right when they were doing a deal offer that was going to net all the employees, make them rich, like a lot of money was on the table. So now you're rocking the boat here. We're about to get money. Well, you can't do that. So the mutiny, the boat, everybody in the boat was like, get freaking Sam back right now. So they may have had perfectly legitimate reasons. I think they must have had legitimate reasons to get rid of him, but the money thing was just too powerful. So they had to like suck it up and be like, oh,
Well, it's like you're in a battle. It's in one army facing another army, and then all the generals are there, and they just start shooting arrows at the main the general.
That's
And
right.
The army's like, excuse me, what is happening? We're
Yeah.
about to go into this battle.
And we're about to get money. He's paying us. We're
Yeah,
about to get a
exactly.
ton of money from him. What are you doing? So it really, I think that's what happened because there's no way they fired him for no reason. There's no way.
Well, they didn't give any reason.
Yeah, they can't give a reason. They can't actually come out and give the reason now, even if there is a reason.
Because they tanked the company.
They'll tank OpenAI.
Yeah.
Now there were 2 of them or 3 of them who want to tank. Like
Right.
the lady, she's like,
And
she's like, tank it.
so Anthropic.
They're gone now.
Yeah.
They missed their shot. When you come
I
for
don't
the
know.
king,
For me, I mean, it feels like every 2 years I get a nice Amber Heard thing going on, and it's just like so juicy.
but what I wanted to tell you is that Sam Altman. So there's a rumor now that Reddit is about to IPO, and they're going to do that in conjunction with the announcement that their data is going to be used in an AI company.
That's
We
We
it.
don't know. We don't know who the AI
Data's
company
the
is.
new oil. That's for sure.
But Sam Altman, I think, is the largest shareholder in Reddit, or one of their largest investors.
Dude,
in
Lex
Reddit.
Luthor's gonna have the largest share in all the good things. Are you kidding me?
It's
I
so
can't
good.
wait. Peter, Superman's coming. Superman is coming. He's throwing bales of hay somewhere right now, and he needs Sam Altman to wake him up.
Mm.
We're gonna see some flying capes and things real toot sweet, Peter.
Well, I mean, we could see Iron Man's.
He swept in and took
Oh,
over
no,
Twitter.
Elon, unfortunately,
is a bad guy.
no. It's going to be sacrificed on the altar of Altman,
Mm.
and that's how we'll know.
Okay.
He'll be his pineal gland or whatever will be eaten by Gabriel Altman, and we're gonna get Superman. Now, look, we're gonna have some dark times, right? Maybe we don't.
No.
Maybe we're not gonna Superman. Maybe we're gonna Batman.
No,
Right? We're gonna have to be in Gotham.
that's not what's going to happen. First of all, Sam Altman is not proven yet. Elon Musk is. That guy is the Phoenix. All right, he's unkillable because of actual talent. We don't
That's
actually
what we
know.
thought about Dumbledore.
Oh,
And-
why'd you bring it up?
So too
Definitely
soon.
killable. Spoilers.
Sam
My
Sam
childhood.
Altman.
Oh, right in the childhood.
The rumors are that Sam Altman wants to be like or be seen like Elon Musk and be like Elon Musk, but
Yeah.
he's still.
What you're saying is he wants to kill him. Just so you know, what you just said means he wants to get rid of him. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, he already quasi killed him by stealing OpenAI from him.
Right.
Right.
Elon Musk's biggest fear
Right.
he took. And Elon is so butthurt about this. Every interview, he goes out of his way. If you even bring
Really?
up OpenAI or Sam Altman, that guy will not let it go. Even if the interviewer was just casual, he's like, I want to do that. OpenAI is started out as a open source and not for profit, and now it's
Right.
the biggest closed source profit. So it's kind of like this guy will not let it go. And why did that guy get fired? And we should know about this. I'm like, Elon, nobody even asked you a question about this. He does not let it go, man.
That's great.
He's so pissed about it. And he's so pissed about it, he started Grok. He's like,
Right.
look, I know I'm behind, but I'm going to Elon this thing as much as I
Well, he's
can.
already been working on AI. Tesla works
Yeah.
on AI. So
Yeah, I know,
But
but
it's different.
he's still
something's-
behind.
Yeah, it's different, but it's
The hardware he's behind on, but he's catching up. And I think, here's what I think. I haven't actually heard this talked about, but this is what I feel. I could be totally wrong. I don't think you can create an actual effective AI if it's woke.
right.
Because just like if you shut off part of your brain, you're not allowed to think here, it will handicap you in ways that you won't even be able to really understand. The true people who do great things, who are smart in this world, are actually open-minded. So the more you put, oh, but we want to protect and we want like ChatGPT 3, when it first came out, was actually in a lot of ways more useful
That's right.
than ChatGPT 4 now.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened? They neutered it. They neutered it. And there were people who used the early GPT and were like, it was really amazing. And then it
Right.
kind of got weird. Why? Because they put all these guardrails. Now, I'm not sure if they know this or whatever, but I think if you put those guardrails, it actually prevents real intelligence.
Or could it be that putting the guardrails, because it's an artificial, like you said, shutting off of a brain, that it is more likely to lead it to like negative consequences because it's not seeing the full picture
I think
and
it's just
it has a
not as
biased point of
creative.
view.
It's not
Oh.
as smart somehow.
Yeah, if the negative
Like, you know,
consequences,
someone who
well-rounded.
just speaks in ideologies,
Sure.
and you're like, you're not smart.
it's
It's-
less
Or like
capable.
presidential candidates who only speak in their talking points and they don't
Exactly.
they can't answer a question outside of it. That kind
Exactly
of
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm seeing is happening. And
Okay.
then they do other things. Like when the GPTs first came out, I uploaded all my documents to it and it was amazing. But then we found out that you could actually get people's documents from people's GPTs. So you could get their source material. And people were like, fuck that. So they heavily neutered it. Now, if I upload my own documents to my own private GPT and I ask it to quote it, it won't. It won't quote any aspect of a
Wow.
document that you upload. Huge neuter, huge pain in the ass. Like I absolutely hate it. It will only summarize. Even if you force it, you tell it's your material, nothing. It won't do it. Dramatically less useful because it's safer. So Elon might have a great advantage with his Grok
Yeah.
because
true.
he's much less woke. And I think
And it's being trained on
All the
On
actual
everything,
data.
all the way from the
Yeah,
top to the
absolutely.
dregs of society. So it's like it's got it
Absolutely.
all.
So I think OpenAI, they soared, and then I think they're kind of slowing down a bit, and maybe not even understanding why so much, because so many people in Silicon Valley are kind of this brainwash, and I think Elon can rapidly come up. Did you see the new video for the Tesla bot?
No.
When Joe
The
Rogan
last
saw it,
Tesla bot thing I saw, it was making food, and I was like, "What the?
yeah,
It's
it's
making food
moving,
now?
it's walking.
It made a
Joe,
sandwich.
Joe Rogan
Why
was
is
This
watching it.
robot made a
They're not
sandwich."
going to need me anymore.
Well,
I didn't
they put
see
a
it make a
flashlight on
sandwich,
that
but
thing.
I
It's
saw
so
him
different.
pick up a. But they increased the walking speed and all that stuff.
Mm.
Like he's catching up real fast with the.
And the guy
robotic.
who has a chip in his head now woke up. He's recovered and
Oh
he can
my
control the
God.
mouse.
with his mouth.
Absolutely,
Like a computer mouse or like a
Yes.
mouse?
a
Oh, that's
computer
very
mouse.
Like,
Sam
oh,
said the
don't
same
you have
thing.
to specify?
Puts a chip in his
Sam
mind
said
to
the
control
exact
it.
same thing.
Oh my!
That would be cool. That
Alright.
might make me consider it. I can control animals.
But
Watch out, lions.
this year is going to be the year of AI foundation models and robotics.
Right.
And so Elon's behind on foundation models. He just doesn't have the hardware for it. But robotics, I mean, that's what Tesla
Can't
was
beat
all
him.
about.
Can't beat
Being
him.
able to recognize the real world and operate it is what actually those vehicles they've been working on since Tesla has begun.
Yeah,
And so
Tesla cars are robots that just drive, but they're robots.
exactly. And in order for them to drive effectively, they actually have to understand the world. It's not just that they have to understand the roads. They have to understand the world, the physics of the world, the types of people who are out there, the difference between a
Motivation.
woman and a child, and all kinds of different things. And what if this flies into flame? This plastic bag flies it. Like everything has to be a part of it. And his robotics, mechanically speaking, are really they
Basic.
they're no, they're really good. In the
Oh,
year
okay.
that he started, if you see the first video and then the
Mm.
most recent one, you're like, this guy's
They couldn't even have the
rocking it.
robot move. They had to have it propped up on a stick,
That's right.
Uh-huh.
and it just talked a little bit. I was like, "This is going to be a while." That was 1 year ago.
Joe Rogan saw the most recent video of Tesla's bot, and Joe Rogan's like, Elon, no, what are you doing? No, Elon, because it looks so like you're like we're not at iRobot yet, but it looks so damn close. You add that to AI foundation models. I don't know if you know about foundation models, Melissa. Tom, you probably know about it.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
so right now, when you ask an AI to do something, you might get a good answer or a bad answer or anything in between. And if 10,000 people ask them this, they're all going to have a variety of experiences. Some it's going to be hit the nail on the head, some it won't. Foundation models is they give the AI imaginations, the power to imaginate, so it can simulate the
Did you
action
say
in its head.
imaginate?
Imagination, yeah.
Sorry. Power to imaginate.
That's a Melissaism. Imagine
Like
that.
you're speaking my Tell me more. How? Okay, so they can give AI
give-
an imagination. So
That's
how
right.
does
So-
a language model? It's not a language model at this point.
It is a language model, but it has like a sort of recursive background way
Okay.
of where it thinks through things instead of just like you do. Before you do something, you can visualize it in your mind to do it.
You're
So
giving me
what-
a lot of credit. Thank you.
So this AI, it instead of you ask it to do something and then it does it or attempts to do it, it simulates it 10,000 times in a
Hmm.
millisecond in its mind,
That's so cool.
finds the right one, and then does that right one. So that when they do that with robotics, the robots all of a sudden can do like amazing things. Like can
That's
flip
super technical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Precision. That's the word.
yeah, because they went through 1,000 years in a second.
Wow.
And now, so then what we're gonna get right now, we have the baby AIs where you're just like, hey, little baby, and I'll give you a custom instruction. But what you're gonna have by the end of this year, next year, whatever, is a foundation model where, well, we might not have. I don't know who's gonna have it, but you're gonna have an AI that they've already trained it on 100 different things. It has this world. And then when you ask it to do something, either it'll already have practiced that and know the 10,000th way of doing it, the best way to do it, or it'll just
Do it.
and then provide you the best examples. When you have a
And
robot,
also, all the robots are networked. So if one of them learns a
Right,
thing,
all of
they
them.
all immediately know the
Exactly.
same thing.
That's kind of creepy. I want that in my brain.
That's what you want.
That's the chip I want.
I see. Let's put in
I'll sign
Arthur.
up for that
We'll
one.
put in Arthur.
well, you've seen Matrix, right? You've seen the Matrix.
I have multiple
you-
times,
You know that scene, I Know Kung Fu?
of course.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
That's exactly
cool.
These robots are like, suddenly I know Kung Fu. Like,
Yeah.
when you watch the
Imagine
videos,
astrology
it's
with that.
amazing.
It would be like, well, every other time that this happened, these types of things happened in the world, and you can expect this type of thing possibly in these areas. Look for this.
What if it ends up, being an oracle?
Yeah, it'll
Oh,
be an
I
or-
meant
it
to
has
ask
be
you
an
this,
oracle.
Melissa. Why? What do you think about making an astrology GPT? Like
So-
with your
We talked
special
about it.
brand.
We've
Yeah.
talked about it. So I've used actually when we were talking about the personal GPT, one of the things that I feel like I'm kind of polluting his is that I ask a lot of astrology questions, specifically horary astrology questions, because there's not a lot of data online about it.
Mhm.
But because there's not a lot of data online, ChatGPT also doesn't really know about it. So
Yeah,
it's like
you'd
I'm
have to
kind of
tell it.
teaching it and we're kind of going back and forth. This is why I'm like, oh, I need a personal one with memory because that sounds like fantastic.
Well, the benefit of making the GPT is that you can do that,
Mm.
and then that training you're doing for
Yeah.
it now becomes available to other people, and you can sell access to it.
Well, what I was thinking also, I have in my notebook because I do things by hand. I have like all of our major transits, and then I keep like a journal of things that happened, so that I can later kind of reference like, oh, this is happening again. It happened, 5 months ago. Let me kind of take a look and see what happened around that time. Look for similar themes. If I could upload all of that into a Chat GPT type thing, it would be able to just reference my own notes and find similar threads that could be useful. But
Yeah.
I don't remember your question. It was something about astrology and ChatGPT.
Well,
Yeah,
even
making-
even if it's just like to educate people on it, like it could be a basic. I think it would do well
Yeah.
because there's no the competition isn't out there right now. It's like a PDF analyzer and a character but like I'm doing one that explains my making millionaire idea. So that way when I
Mhm.
present my making millionaire idea, I share with them the link and be like, go ask my GPT all the freaking questions you're gonna have about this, then come at me.
Yeah.
So instead of like writing a book or whatever and presenting them this and people's not gonna read it, I create a GPT that can explain all of the ifs, buts, and whys and everything around it.
Yeah.
And then when I do my post and share it, let's say I message Charles. So I'm doing a finger of God for my making millionaire principle. I call it finger of God now, by the way.
Okay, cool.
And I wanted to do something for Cardano, well, for crypto,
Mhm.
to make a crypto millionaire. Charles was
Mm.
talking. He had a video where he's talking about how crypto is being destroyed because people are just focused on the casino aspect of it. The dollar goes up, but really, crypto is about to free us from the legacy system. So I was like, hey, what I want to pitch to Charles is we should do the making millionaire principle for
That's so
crypto.
cool.
So
Yeah.
what you have is
Mhm.
the person we have an event where people are talking about the value and importance of crypto, so you get an education, and then we pick someone from that event and make them a millionaire. How? Using crypto. We send them ADA, whatever, $3, $5,
Each individually.
each
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What that does is that it demonstrates the no middleman. Because all of my
Right.
other making millionaire ideas, I need PayPal, I need GoFundMe. It's a
True.
whole
I remember that was the
complicated mess.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, but with crypto, it's just direct, which demonstrates the functionality of crypto. We can directly
Absolutely.
send it without any middleman,
And you
two,
know that other people sent them that money.
Yes.
and you have the proof of it. Exactly. That's why
Yeah.
I want to GoFundMe because you have a record of it.
Right.
And then two, you're made a millionaire, so it's that
Yeah.
sensational thing, but not because price go up, because of people. Which is actually the idea behind crypto. It's us
Yes.
taking our power back.
Yes.
So I want to pitch it to the Cardano
That's a great
community.
idea.
And I was trying to figure out how should I do it, write a book, do a long
Mm.
video. I can do all that stuff, but I should create a GPT that will explain my proposal
Mm.
to them. And then the questions that they have, they can ask it and it will tell them because I have all the answers that, the
Well,
20.
they're going to be I don't. It hasn't been chosen yet, but they're going to be releasing the governance layer for Cardano,
Yeah, you said that.
and with that comes unlocked essentially a sovereign wealth fund, like this. It's been collecting fees for all the transactions on ADA that's going to go into the treasuries, very much like what we want to do for Arkwood. That then becomes available for when people want to do projects that people then vote on and then gets released. Do you know how much money is in this fund?
$1 billion.
$900 million worth of ADA now. If crypto goes up, then it'll be
4.5
billions of dollars.
billion. Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Let's say ADA 10x's. That means
Yeah.
it's $10 billion worth of ADA available for projects
It's
that people
insane.
then vote on. And so
Insane.
the opportunity to make money, there's even bigger opportunity now to get funded for these
Yeah.
things now, because people go, now you're not taking a bunch of someone else's money that could have been. Now there's no excuse for not good ideas
Yeah.
not getting
Right.
funded.
True.
And there's
Exactly.
woeful a few marketing stuff that's inside of the ADA space, and I think the community would love this sort of thing, especially if we pitched it.
And I think this idea, the third benefit of it, is that it's such a great marketing tool that demonstrates the character of the community, which is to me why I'm invested in ADA. It's non-toxic. The only way we make a millionaire is if people voluntarily do it. There's nothing else behind it.
It's not
Imagine if
gimmicky. It's like
Yeah.
it's a gimmick that's not gimmicky.
That's right, because it demonstrates all of the principles that we want to demonstrate. Imagine Cardano makes a millionaire or 2 or 5 or 10 for that. Like, it's going to be in all the paper. People are going to be like,
Absolutely.
I need to have a wallet. I need to have a Cardano wallet,
Right.
because
How
why
can I not
wouldn't I?
participate in it?
How could I
you
not?
want to just buy a few tokens after something like that?
That's right.
Because they're even
Absolutely.
just the news of it. They'll be like, oh, this is going to go up. Like, just you're creating the news for it to become one of the main tokens.
Totally.
More
So
than
even if you care about number go up, you still want to participate.
yes,
You still want to participate. That's right. And there's no.
you're right. It hits. That's
just love
actually
it.
the
Someone gets $1
perfect
million
platform
worth of
for it.
Cardano at 50 cents, and then through no fault of their own, the price goes up, and now it's at $1, and now they have $2 million.
I think you found the right way of doing it. Seriously, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Really.
And we can get paid by doing it. All right, we gotta get going.
Do we?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because we don't want these to be too long.
Oh, you want me to, Val? Do you have to like have some personal talk time?
Not
with
at all.
your-
But what I wanted you to finish, I wanted you to tell them about you told them about Love Is Blind. 'Cause I want to hear about the Torres.
Yeah, so Tom and I are really enjoying that. And then the other thing, we had a whole caused all kinds of conversations. There's an interracial couple, and this black girl
races?
goes up to the
Okay.
black guy who's dating the white girl and is like, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" And like
24 and 25 years old. So
yeah,
they're
like what are your family gonna think? Is this the right move?
well, the black guy had never dated a white girl before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
what are you doing? What does this mean for black excellence? The word black excellence kept
Wow.
coming around.
So at some point, what you want to do is that, and I'm glad that Melissa explained this to me. Because at first, when I first watched the first episode,
Sorry,
I was like,
explained
"What is
it to
going
you?
on?"
Sorry.
They're in this thing where they're in what's called pods, where the men or women are secluded.
I've seen
They're
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then after that, then they go on the people who do go
Match.
up and match and
Oh.
propose. They all go on vacation together.
Oh.
First separately, and then them together, so they're mingling and matching, and so you get to see how they interact. Like they'll meet each other, and they're like, "Oh, you ended up with this person, you ended up with that person," and this is
Yeah.
where the black guy, ended up meeting the only other black girl, and
Who
she's
went
like,
through the whole
"So
thing.
how do you feel about this whole white thing, whatever?" And she's like, "Oh,
Wow.
right," and this is the first time he had a black person now telling him,
Yes.
like, "Hey, what are you
Right.
doing
Changes
here?
the whole
What happened to your
dynamic
kid?"
of their relationship,
And,
of their
and then all
lives.
these conversations, and then you've been watching some of these conversations, these relationships go well, and some of them go poorly. Most of them go poorly
Most of them go
because
poorly.
they're like, okay, it was one thing when all we had to do
Yeah.
all day long was date. Now we're in this
Right.
other thing, but we're in paradise here. But what is it going to be
and
like?
then next they
Right.
live together,
And
and
then
then
next
next
they live
meet
together
the
with
family.
now,
Yeah.
and then they meet the family, and then they have to be at the altar. So it goes so fast through these stages that you don't feel the stagnant. And if you don't, I could totally see not liking the first part of it and then loving what comes afterwards, and then everything that you paid attention to, this investment of this payoff,
Yeah.
and it's quite clearly like, even if in reality TV there's all this machinations, there's only so much editing you can do when it comes to, well, do these people like each other or not?
Right,
Like they
right.
can't make it so that you think otherwise. You go,
That's right.
you look and you go, some
That-
guy will say something, you're like, oh, that's gonna sting. That I don't know, that's gonna survive. This is a hard time.
Or like
And
there's
she made
yeah. Go
made
ahead.
a great point about this idea that because we were watching it earlier, and the person said it felt like I've known you for years.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, yeah, it is, because they were in this pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And because this is what happened to us. We had
Right.
this crazy experiences all at once, and all of a sudden it feels like 3 months is a year.
Yeah.
Right.
The first 6 months of our relationship were extremely high stress, and we were together every day.
That's right.
And it really solidified everything.
So at first, what I thought was gimmicky. Oh, how can they get married after 10 days? No, that 10 days feels
Yeah.
like 2 months to them, maybe 3 months.
Right.
And all they have to think about
Right.
is that other person. They have no phone, they have no internet, they have nothing. That's all they have to think about. And then when they go on vacation, they still don't have their devices. They have to think about this other person. Then when they meet the other people, the other people they're meeting, other than the camera crew or whatever, those people are also having the situation. And this is what I've been thinking about. This is what I'm thinking about, or whatever. So it's like, okay, after this period of time, they've really lived
Wow.
more than what someone in a relationship for 6 months might have been like with that
So
person.
essentially, we're on the 6th season of the show, and Tom is finally admitting that he enjoys it instead of just watching it like casually, sort of half over my shoulder
Yeah.
while he's working.
Well, I'll always give some reality TV shows a chance, but some of them get like so repetitive.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
you can't tell one season from the next or whatever. This, it's not like you can get another group of people that's the same.
It's just
Right.
so interesting to see.
It feels like Big Brother to me,
Yeah, there's
but more
yes.
higher stakes. It doesn't feel like these people are putting on a show.
No.
At one point, one person said,
Because they're all there with like they have a sense of purpose in them, and they have like that's their driving purpose is they're there to find a spouse, and like it bleeds into everything that happens in the show.
well, let's say that your goal was to be. I think one of them said something like, "I'm not here to be a C-list celebrity or whatever it is." Let's say your goal was to go on one of these
Yeah.
shows because you want to be a Netflix celebrity, right? You were talking about this whole industry of people
Yeah.
going on
Right.
these shows. Well, you can only get through if that other person loves you.
Right.
Loves you. They have to choose to marry you.
Rough.
And so, yeah, you tell me you're doing that without seeing the other person in 10 days, without you having to be like, okay, let me just break down. Like, do I actually
Well,
care about this?
some people choose to marry. The Bachelor is like that, where they'll agree to marry for the
But they're marrying
status.
for money.
No, but I mean they don't actually go through the marriage.
Yeah.
No, well, here they don't have to go through the marriage either, but it's sort of like
Every season, at least a couple people get married, though.
they're at least in the Bachelor, they know, like the Bachelor knows what this is all about.
You just pick the best one out of the group.
Yeah, and they're all competed for the same guy. This is not like that.
Mhm.
Here they could choose different people or whatever.
How many
There's
seasons
12.
are there?
Love triangles that happen is like you have a love triangle for people who've never seen each other, but the two guys have seen each other, or the two girls have seen each other,
And they know they're in the same house, and they know they're dating the same girl, and
they can't say that other person. I look much better than that other person. They can't say it. They can't talk about the looks of anything like that.
Well,
it
Well, I'll
really
give it a
brings
shot.
out the best and also the worst in some people, and we really enjoy seeing people in this like pressure cooker situation, the volatility that comes out of it, and how they deal with the stress. It's been
Well,
so
in
much fun.
this season, there was a like what looks to be a psychopath
Full-on psychopath.
who
how many seasons are there?
6,
This is the 6th.
and this
Wow.
this guy was not prepared for
He was basically giving
being seen all the
Yeah.
time and for like they understand the dynamics, and he got caught out.
he was saying the same thing to two different girls,
Yeah.
and they ended up discussing it, and one of the girls left, and he ended up leaving, and like made a whole
But
show
he was
of it.
manipulative, like he was clearly a psychopath.
Clearly.
And-
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
It's
so it's
just-
really good, and so
that was what made
fun.
Tom want to watch it. He kept looking at me like, that guy's crazy.
Because
Like he's like
insane.
he's actually insane. Like
Yeah.
look at the way he behaves with the other guys. He's just ignoring it. And
Just
as soon as the
insane.
camera's on him and he knows, and he just puts on this whole thing.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah,
Did you
So
see?
fun.
Did you see Squid Game challenge? The challenge?
yes.
We loved it, we
Yeah,
loved it, we
watched
loved it.
We
I
watched
liked
all
it
of
better than the actual show. It was,
We were saying that
much better than the actual show.
Yes, what we were saying over and over again
but
was
impossible
that
to watch without the actual show.
yes,
Right.
it was the best. It was the reality TV show / game show that we were the most like that made us feel the most that we wish we had made it. We wish we were part of it. We wish we could make something of that caliber because it was just so well designed.
totally
The
100%.
feelings that they had were just like so brutal. The randomness of the thing and the danger at every turn. There was something about it that was like, this is not like the skill. This is not a skill thing.
No.
Right.
It's an interpersonal, and hey, look, you can't be like, well, that's gonna be the best person. At
Also, the
end.
planning of it made it that like the people who planned it must have had these crazy diagrams. Okay, if they go this way, if they go this way, all these different
Right.
options. It must have been so complex, like that.
Yeah.
The organization
she loves
behind
the idea
it,
of making something like that.
the organization, the level of planning. It was orgasmic. It was. I
Yeah.
was watching it and I'm like paused because it was just so cool to see.
What I
how
liked about it was
detailed it was.
the number of conversations you can have. And all these other
Mm.
reality TV shows, there's a limited number of conversations, and then even
Right.
those conversations, a limited number of what's interesting.
Mm.
Here, there's so many people
True.
Right.
that there are so many things you could pay attention to.
And they
Some
didn't
storylines
know.
went anywhere.
Yeah.
They didn't know who was going to be like the star.
That's
They
right.
didn't know
No.
who
right.
they themselves didn't know. I watched the behind the scenes, and that's very exciting. Very
Oh, I
exciting.
didn't watch. There's a behind the
I
scenes.
didn't see. I didn't know.
Tom, we have to watch
Yeah.
the behind the scenes.
They're making.
So
a-
you saw
yeah.
you're seeing Traders 2, Australia 2?
Traders with the
Oh my
T.
God.
Because every time he says traders, I'm like TRADERS.
Did they change the rules, or is it the setup is different?
Same rules, but okay. So it's been a while since I watched the others, but right now it's the best season I've ever seen.
Really?
Australia.
So good. Australia season 2.
So they're not even in that whole castle thing. They're just in the mansion.
That White
No.
House.
But the characters the people they have there, I can't even tell you anything about it.
Well, because now it's more popular, so
And you
more
said there's a
people.
Canada one. There's a Canada one.
Yeah, there's a Canada one, Australia, US, UK. I'm sure it's
Okay.
going to spread.
Oh, 2 on all of them? Season
no,
2
I don't
for all
know.
of
I
them?
don't know if there's 2 in all of them. I know
Okay.
the.
We've
I
seen
don't-
the
I-
US.
We saw all
UK,
like all
and
the season
Australia.
ones.
UK season 2 is on right now.
Okay.
I think US season 2 is complete, and season 2 for
We-
Australia just
We
complete.
did not see season
No,
2.
UK had season 2.
We
no,
did not see
UK
it.
had no
We only
season.
saw season 1 because we
We
were.
saw season 1 of everything.
We saw
Yeah.
season 1 of everything, but not Canada. We
Not
didn't know
Canada.
about Canada.
Canada's new. It
Which-
started end of 2023, so
Okay.
it might not even
Cool.
be finished yet.
I love Traders so badly.
My favorite show.
He wants
Like
to be on it so bad.
between that and Squid Game, like
I'd want to be on Traders over
Yeah.
Squid Game.
Same.
yeah,
Because
I'd
it's
wanna
less
consider-
random in Traders.
I'd want to be on Love Is Blind.
And I love when they.
Like, that was just
Yeah, yeah.
because we're married already, you know?
I let you go
Like,
on Love Is Blind.
What? No, I'm not going to cheat on. That would be lying to people.
It's not cheating if you have permission. That's
have to
that's why
kill
the
you
word is
first.
cheating. In fact, it's
It'd be so
it's
mean.
cheating if you don't go.
It would be so mean to the person who falls in love with me.
Yeah.
Unless you got
That's gonna be-
surprised and love found you and
Just
in
go
a
on and
place
say
that you
you're
didn't know.
lesbian. Tell everyone you're lesbian. Excuse me, what?
Where's the gay version? Yeah, that's got to come soon. Queer
No,
Love Is Blind,
God,
queer
no,
edition.
no.
You know it's coming.
Gay people aren't real. Sorry. Can't do a show around them. I'm kidding. God, Jesus
Uh,
Christ,
keep-
algorithm. I'm kidding.
Keep in mind, I haven't finished. I'm at the last episode of Australia season 2,
Yeah,
so I
don't
don't know
say
how it ends. But the only downside is that season 1 had 12 episodes, but season 2 has 9. I don't know why, but it just makes it feel like less like it's dragging on.
Hmm.
So it's really good.
Cool.
Oh, I look forward to that. I won't make
Very
the
good.
mistake of Googling it beforehand.
Don't.
Don't watch
When I
any
watched
pictures.
Australia one, no, I can't remember which one
It was the UK
No,
one.
US. It was US. US. I already knew who won.
Yeah, he accidentally Googled one of the people something about them, and he got the winner name.
Well, it was fun in the sense I knew she didn't know, so I got the
Right.
vicariously. But
That's brutal.
then
would
how
hate
she
that.
won?
yeah. Don't say anything. You
Ooh,
said she.
don't
Now
that.
somebody who's gonna watch this and then be all.
I was
like,
just
"Oh,
about to
he's
say
so
that.
good."
I was just about to say that, but not sarcastically.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know how they identify, frankly.
Are you referring to one person or a group of people? Don't answer. Okay, I gotta go.
All right, later, dude.
All right. Well,
Bye.
look. Wait. Hang on. Before you go, did you go
Oh.
already?
This is last words. You can still talk, but I'm just going to end the stream.
Yeah, it was just last words. Somebody might be wondering why it's called last words, and I just feel like people they don't. I try to have conversations with people as if it was going to be the last time I talk to them. It doesn't mean that every conversation has to be meaningful or anything like that, but you should always talk about the things that are important to you, and it should never just be meaningless chit chat. And I think we did good today. So if I never see you again,
Well, I call this last words because this is going to be the last episode we ever do. We're never doing another episode after this. So enjoy it. Hope it's what you want it to be.
nice chatting with you, Melissa. It was okay,
Nice
Tom.
chatting with you, Pete.
Ciao.
Tom was okay.
Peter, I just wanted to ask you something. Did you